Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat MAULANA QAMAR Sahib Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Thursday morning at Baitul Azkar in Wasiabad, Allahabad, UP, India. Thursday, the 30th of Sha'ban 1444, corresponding with the English date, the 23rd of March 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off this majlis and opens up by reciting the verse of the Quran Majid, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannati. Hazrat Wala is saying, the thought came to my mind that Allah Ta'ala is saying in the Quran, Kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun, that fasting, siyam, roza has been ordained for you like how it has been ordained for the people before you. And the maqsad of all of this and the total sum which we want you to actually achieve from all of this is that of taqwa and piety. So this taqwa and this tazkiyah, it is the same thing that we are working towards. Rather, ulama have made bayan of both of them completely and totally in full. And we have to get ilm and knowledge for this, because this is the zaruriyat and this is what we need to know. And a person who does not make koshish and an effort in this regard, then it is a point of negligence. Take the example of an individual who enters a certain hospital to carry out ilaj. He wants to make ilaj. And then if he does not make ilaj, then what will be the faida there? What will be the benefit? You know the occasion when Hazrat Tanvi went to Lucknow and then he went to do ilaj. And the mu'alij there, the physician, then told him, the Hakim, that you are not allowed to eat this, that and the other, so many things for such a long period of time. Nevertheless, when the treatment came to an end and Hazrat Tanvi was about to leave, the Mu'alij then prepares a table spread full of all those items which he was not allowed to go near to in all those days. And then Hazrat Tanvi said, but you kept me aloof and made parhez that I am prohibited from going near to these foods all these days. And today you have put it in front of me. He says, yes, I want to see by now, do you have the strength and capacity? Do you have that type of health that you would be able to tolerate these foods now or not? So similarly, here the imtihan is, we have to see how much of tilawat will we make. What type of roza will we be keeping? How much of nafs is there actually left within us? And we continue with this year, and this continues, and the end result of all this mujahada is that we get the calling from the unseen, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna, O the contented soul, irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah, return to your Rabb, while you are pleased with Him and He is pleased with you. But up till that time, until or unless that call doesn't come, there is no peace, there is no chain. And then what happens when the call comes, the announcement comes that فَدْخُلِي فِي عِبَادِي, now enter amongst my servants, وَدْخُلِي جَنَّتِي, and enter in my gardens, my Jannah. So this is that nafs that we are actually talking about. So let me tell you this here, जिसने अपने को मिट्टी में मिलाया, Allah Ta'ala ने उसको अर्श पर बुलाया, Allahu Akbar. That person that had humbled himself so much, he lowered himself completely and totally, self-effacement. Rather we would say, he put himself on the sand. He humbled himself completely and totally. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called him then to the arsh. He was happy with the a'mal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He adopted it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then called him to the heavens. So he sat on the earth, meaning he humbled himself completely and totally on the farsh. So Allah then called him to the arsh. So here you want to go here and you want to go there. You're doing this and you're doing that. Fine, okay, not a problem. But remember well, you would have to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't you hear people saying that certain person has passed away, non-Muslim or this or that, and then people say, they say, isn't it, Jahannam Rasid, that listen, he's gone to Jahannam now. You know, I went to Darul Uloom Dio, Mau, Hazrat Wala is saying, and Karimuddin Saab's father, my Fufa, was there and he was teaching Qiraat. And he started us off with making mashq from this particular surah, in which Allah Ta'ala speaks so highly of the nafs mutmainnah. Jisne mitaya apna naam o nishan, haft iqlim ka bana sultan. The person who has humbled himself completely, totally, he erased any traces or every trace of himself. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then elevated him to such an extent that he makes him the king of the entire world. Allahu Akbar. That's Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saab's couplets there, ash'ar. And what about Haji Saab? Main apna naam o nishan mita beta. That I'm sitting here, lost, gone and forgotten. I've erased all traces of myself completely and totally. Complete and total self-effacement and humbleness in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shuhra uradiya mera kisne. When I done this, I wonder who spread this word of mine throughout the world. I wonder who has made me now so famous. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these words. And that also after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with risalat and prophethood, rather the higher stages of it. What was his dua to Allah? Allahumma inni as'aluka nafsan bika mutma'innah tu'minu bi liqa'ik wa tarda bi qada'ik wa taqna'u bi 'ata'ik. O Allah, I ask you for a soul which is satisfied with you, which has conviction in meeting you, which remains happy with your decree, and which is satisfied with your gifts. That type of nafs I am asking for. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam also made dua to Allah. Allahumma aati nafsi taqwaha wa zakkiha anta khayru man zakkaha anta waliyuha wa maulaha. O Allah, give my nafs its piety and purify it, for you are the best of those who would purify it. Rather, anta waliyuha wa maulaha. You are the guardian of this nafs. Rather, you are the odian. You are the owner of this nafs of minds. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is making this dua, whereas Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam's nafs is completely and totally pure and clean. So the thing is, a person, what is this nafs all about? This nafs mutmainnah is actually the person who makes his nafs like the low-lying land. Al-ardul munkhafida, nashib zameen. So when he does that, and he presents himself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then elevates him. Allahumma inni dhalilun fa'izzani. Allahumma inni faqirun farzuqni. Oh Allah, I am disgraced. Therefore grant me honor. Oh Allah, I am destitute. Therefore grant me rizq. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was so honorable. Rather, Allah Ta'ala says that izzat belongs to Him. وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that about His Nabi, but His Nabi presents himself in the court of Allah. Allahumma inni dhalilun fa'izzani. Oh Allah, I am disgraced, therefore grant me izzat. Allahu Akbar. How much Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam lowered himself and humbled himself. And regarding the matter of rozi, a person should never ever have any type of airs, be proud or arrogant about it. Allahumma aghnini bifadlika amman siwak. Oh Allah, make me independent out of your grace from everyone other than you. Allahu Akbar. Usi mein izzat. There is izzat in this, that Allah Ta'ala makes you muhtaj of Him and only Him. Allahumma kfina bihalalik an haramik. Oh Allah, suffice for us with your halal from that which is haram, which you have made haram. Wa aghnina bifadlika amman siwak. And make us independent out of your grace from all other than you. Allahu Akbar. Turn your gaze away from all other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because nobody will help you and will be able to help you other than that Zat and being that has created you. Bahut umda mazmoon. This is a very wonderful article and a very important topic that I am discussing here with you. So the nafs is three categories. The nafs is in three categories. The nafs ammara, lawama, and the mutma'inna. Andarira, mi kharash o mi tarash, ta dame akhir, dame farig mabash. In this path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll have to toil. You will have to undergo and make sacrifices. Some mujahada, ta dame akhir, dame farig mabash. Right up till the end. Don't ever leave yourself unoccupied for just even a moment, not even that amount of time. Continue in this path. Somebody said and made the remark to this great Buzrug and Wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that ab tumhare suluk tamam ho gaya. That listen, you have completed your journey now to Allah. And what was his answer? Absolutely amazing. Agar umre Nuh mile, ek mamuli wazifa bhi tark nahi karunga. That even if I had to be blessed with the lifespan of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, I would not even leave out one simple wazifa. So a person should be waiting in enthusiasm, should be carrying on walking in enthusiasm to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you had put yourself onto the ground, in the sand, in the dust. You know, a person comes and he sits on the floor. And then when he does this here and humbles himself, then what they say, no, sit here on top. Sit here on top. You know, there was a collector, a person who had this position in council or in high, position or whatever it was, the collectors. And Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib even told him, what are you doing this? Don't even do this here. Meaning, don't pursue this type of thing. Nevertheless, he continued. And eventually then he comes back in the end. And what was it? What was he trying to say? He was saying that, Hazrat, I went there, I done all of this. Then too, I do not have any izzat. And at that time, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib made talqeen to him. Make this dua. Allahumma inni dhalilun fa'izzani. On one occasion, you know this wazir, a minister, they used to come escorted in these big cars, etc. And then a time came when he was dismissed from that position. And then he would come in a rickshaw and leave alone that he did not even have money for that rickshaw. So this is what we speak about, the honor and the positions, worldly positions here. And we should be actually working for the position in the Akhirat. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib even said to me on one occasion, here, take this money and give it to him for the rickshaw. You know, Khusru Bagh, you might know about it here in Allahabad. You have those big gates that were there. On one occasion, a Buzruk was passing by and look at his halat. He did not even have He did not even have shoes to clad his feet, to protect his feet. That was his condition. Nevertheless, he passed by there and he sees the gates closed and he asks, hey, what's happening here? Badshah's gates are all closed today, what's happening? And then somebody says to him, hey man, what to do? The bird of the Badshah has escaped, has flown away. That's why we have closed the gates. At that time, with such type of a remorse and grief, he said, Ya Allah, you have given hukumat to such ignorant and foolish people. Don't they even know this much? That a bird flies, whether you open the gate or close the gate means nothing. That bird is gone now. At that time, immediately Allah Ta'ala inspired him, ilham came, and Allah Ta'ala said, okay, not a problem. If you want, say, I'll do it now. I'll snatch that wealth that I've given you in your heart, and I'll give you hukumat, and I'll give them that. Immediately he falls down, girya, crying in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, please don't do that. What you have given me is everything. This daulat of Iman, Islam, Nur, Ma'rifat, which is in the heart of a person, the wealth of all the worlds put together is zero in front of it. Allahu Akbar. So a Musliman must make qadr of the daulat of Iman. You know, it is written about the Nur of an ordinary simple Muslim. If it has to escape his heart, it will fill the atmosphere of this entire world. So ila Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam an akthari ma yudkhilul jannah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked regarding that which by means of people will get entry, dakhila into Jannah in abundance. Now look at the sharait. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam answered that question then, and he said, Taqwallah wa husnul khulq. The fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and good character. This roza, this fasting, this tilawat is all because of this, so that you can increase in taqwa. Rather, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say that sum it down to two. The asal and the essence is taqwa. If a person has taqwa, then there would be no abhorrent character anymore. And if he doesn't have all this abhorrent character and evil character that you're finding is all because today people do not have taqwa. In fact, in the villages there, in our village, people made Shabina, Tarawi, they read and die a night, Tilawat, this, that and the other. And the very next morning, some argument breaks out, due to which people takes out their sticks and start beating up one another. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab remarking on this type of behavior from our own people, he said, what Tarawi did they read? What Shabina and Tilawat did they make? Meaning, that was all rasmi. If that was actually hakiki, then they would have not displayed such type of character. So we learn from all of this here that our a'mal should also affect our akhlaq, and there should be some type of effects in it. So here Allah Ta'ala speaks about the nafs ammara and the nafs lawwama and the nafs mutma'inna. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not address any one of these nafs. Allah Ta'ala speaks about the nafs ammara in these words, Inna nafsa al-ammaratun bisu. Just a statement there. Allah Ta'ala speaks about the nafs lawwama, a statement here again. Wala uqsimu bin nafs lawwama. But when Allah Ta'ala speaks and refers to the nafs mutma'inna, He makes an announcement calling the nafs mutma'inna, that come back to me, O nafs mutma'inna, in these glowing and honorable terms. Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna. So a person, Allah Ta'ala then calls him. This whole month of Ramadan is so that we can get this nafs mutma'inna. It is all about ita'at and tawakkul. It is all about ita'at and tawakkul. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises this nafs mutma'inna with the characteristic and the feature of being completely contented, praising it. Why? Because it has become completely obedient and it has tawakkul in it. ثناء منه عليها بالاستسلام له إليه والتوكل عليه. Actually, this nafs is al-munkhafidatu min al-ard. So when this nafs humbles itself so much that it becomes like a low-lying area, فَلَمَّنْ خَفَضَتْ بِتَوَاضُعِهَا وَإِنْكِسَارِهَا, when it humbles itself completely and totally, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then raises that nafs. Allah ta'ala calls it with honor. And this is actually what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam meant by saying, "Man tawada'a lillah rafa'ahu Allah." This is a wonderful kitab. It is the essence of suluk and tariq. I just went now to a certain area, and how the road was and how would we have reached, and there was so much of difficulty in actually getting there. When this is of a simple path here in this dunya, then what can we say about the path reaching to Allah? But having said all of that, Allah Ta'ala teaches us that say, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim, guide me to the straight path. What is that straight path? That straight path is such a path that there is no sudden decline and there is no difficult climbing there. There is no nashib of faraz at all. There is no dure daraz at all. It is absolutely short path, and it is near, and it is free from all type of fears that some animal or thief is about to attack you. This is what Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim is. A person's son or daughter comes and then they stand up and they say, my son came, my son came. That's exactly how Allah Ta'ala is calling us, that my banda, come now. And then Allah Ta'ala is saying, my banda came. Allahu Akbar. Hazrat Haji Sahib even gives the example of a person entering the grand court. And he says that people enter a court, but everyone enters the court. Even if a person is a criminal, and if he is an obedient one, they all enter the court. But remember, some enter with honor and some enter in disgrace. Maulana Muhammad gives me this particular kitab. I take it is an amazing kitab. I then go to Makkah Mukarramah. We start making the tarjuma there, and I start looking for this kitab in all the bookshops, and eventually my people come back and they say, Hazrat, we have found the kitab, and this was 2 a.m. in the morning. 2 a.m. in the morning. And they come with this kitab. Allahu Akbar. So we're speaking about tawakkul and tawazu also. That a person should put his trust in Allah by adopting tawakkul. Our muamala and our dealing with Allah will be rectified. And with tawazu, a person's dealings with people also would be rectified. I went to Nanota. People came in droves. People came in huge scores and numbers. And it is the place of Hazrat Maulana Qasim Nanotwi. And I said to the people then, that I'm presenting to you two salient features of Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Qasim Sahib. One was that of tawakkul, and the other was that of tawazu. A person goes to his nanyal, he goes to his mother's place, he goes to his father's place, he goes to his in-laws, and how much he is pampered and how much he's honored that I went there, and then the old people started filling up water so that we could bath. They started making i'azaz and ikram of us. Allahu Akbar. So that's here. But what about in the akhirat when a person will return? So here, this is the last majlis that we are having here at home. You make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it proves beneficial for me and my family people, rather for everyone. So irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan maradiyya, return to your Rabb while you are pleased with him and he is well pleased with you. You are pleased with his ahkam here in this dunya. Now here he will now please you also by giving you in'am. Allah Ta'ala did not say irji'i ila Rabb. Allah Ta'ala did not say, but Allah Ta'ala said irji'i ila rabbiki, to your Rabb. Allah Ta'ala did not refer to himself with qahr of uluhiyat, but rather with rububiyat, with the lutf of rububiyat, with the caring nature of a nurturer and one who does beautiful upbringing. Hazrat Wala thereafter pauses for a moment, tears well up in his eyes. He starts speaking about his two wonderful spouses, his two wonderful wives, speaking about them, that both of them were so wonderful, both of them were so appreciative, both of them, he speaks about Maqbool Saab's mother. In these words, it was her last moments. Her ruh was about to leave her body, and what is she saying? That I'm like this here, in this helpless state. I was unable to read these last few salats. Make the arrangements for that and see to my children compassionately. Lihaz of my children. That's what she said. That was her words. Allahu Akbar. And Siddiqa's mother as well. How much they done and what they done and how they were, we can't even speak about it. They done much. She was such, she would not even present her rai and her opinion. That was her salient feature, Siddiqa's mother. So in this mukhatab, in this announcement here, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna, women are also included, men as well. Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha is in her last moments. And at that time, Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma seeks permission to enter. And she says, no, don't allow him to enter. And people are amazed. Oh, what's happening here? The nephew, the cousin of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, uncle's son. And then Ibn Mas'ud then intercedes even that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam's uncle's son is asking. He said, okay, what to do? Let him enter. But you know what? He'll come here and he'll do nothing other than praise me. Today we look forward to praise. And then nevertheless he enters. And then he starts singing her praises. You were the very one due to which the ummah was blessed with the great bounty and gift of tayammum. You were that wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the only one who was virgin. This year, that day, the other, and he went on saying her praises. And she was in another state. And what did she say? Didn't I tell you? He'll come here now and he'll start praising me. But I'm leaving this dunya now. And I want to reach my Rabb. I want to meet with my Rabb. Nasyam mansiya. That gone and forgotten. Nobody even knows when Aisha came, who she was, when she went. Allahu Akbar. So this was how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he brought them to such a level he brought them, the Sahaba. Now, she would even say, rather she had that haqq of being buried next to her father and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But at that time, she gives up that and she says, rather bury me in Baqi. I don't want it to be tomorrow that I am buried next to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and I get up on that side and my affairs are something different, due to which I have to bear some shame. I would be ashamed on that day or insulted. I rather be buried there. This was Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam left them, worked with them and put them on the highest maqamat and stations of fana'iyat. Rather, ulama have even written that specifically, maybe that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually wedded her to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, because there was going to be some great ulum and knowledge, such a great portion of knowledge that was going to be granted to the ummah by means of her. إِذَا سَخَّرَ اللَّهُ لِسَعِيدٍ فَكُلُّهُمْ سُعَدَاء. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala subjugates people for a fortunate person, then remember, all those who are there around this fortunate person, all of them now are fortunate. فَكُلُّهُمْ سُعَدَاءُ. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that through the barakat of Ramadan, through the barakat of Quran, through the sadaqah of the awliya and the anbiya, through their barakat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our islah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of carrying out such deeds which are most pleasing to Him. Me, my family people, my progeny, all of you as well. Allah Ta'ala bless us with His khas rahmat. Allah Ta'ala rahmat ka मामला फरमा दे. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.